The following technique originates from Dr. Peter Levine's somatic experiencing method, and this is a sounding technique that helps tone the vagus nerve, and this is a key player in our nervous system. So it's a nerve that helps us regulate our nervous system, which means being able to move in and out of stress states with greater ease, so not getting caught up in that fight or flight response or not getting caught in that shutdown response. And a healthy nervous system is all about being able to move in and out of responses with greater ease. So you may want a little bit of privacy for this practice, so we will be making a sound. If this feels too much for you, if you feel a bit silly, that's completely okay. That's really natural when we first start working with sounding. So give yourself a little bit of grace there. You might want to listen to me do the practice or imagine yourself doing the practice for a while. And then when you have that privacy, when you feel more comfortable doing it, giving it a go and seeing how you find it. So you might find this technique really helpful, you might not. So to begin, if you'd like to take a moment to get comfortable, that might be sitting or it might be standing. And can you notice your feet against the ground? And if you're sitting, can you notice how the chair holds your weight? And can you sink into that just a touch more? So letting the chair hold your weight. And then getting really interested in, okay, how am I doing right now? How do I feel? And trying not to add too much story or narrative around this. So we don't need to go into that narrative of, okay, I feel really tired because of X, Y, and Z. And this might mean that X, Y, and Z happens, or I feel really angry because of this or that. Try and stay with it more at this sensory level. So it might be, okay, my body feels really heavy. I feel quite weary. I feel quite low, or I feel quite high. It could be there's a feeling of lightness in my chest. It could be there's a sense of softness in my belly. So these are just examples. It could be absolutely anything, but trying to stay at this sensory level rather than going into a narrative about why you feel like you do. So we're not adding meaning to this. And then if you'd like to take your hands to your lower belly, and this technique is called the VOO breath, and that's VOO spelt V-O-O. So like Boo, as in the Halloween sort of ghost caricature, but with a V, so VOO. And we want to stay connected to how your lower belly feels as you make this sound. So noticing your lower belly and then taking a breath in through your nose and sounding that out to VOO. So it goes like this. Letting that go and tracking how your body responds to this. So noticing if there's any little shifts in your posture and how you're breathing, perhaps in feelings of tightness or tension or expansion and release. And then the next time you give this a try, as you sound out the VOO, can you also feel for any feelings of vibration in your lower belly? So often when we make these sounds, we are connecting to our lower belly. We're creating a vibrating feeling there. So getting curious about that. If you find that any images pop up, so any pictures, any visuals that spring to mind as you make the VOO sound, noticing these, and again hanging out with them but not making them mean anything in particular. So a whole world of wonderful things can come up here, or things that feel quite challenging, and you don't need to make that mean anything. It's more noticing it. And once you've finished this practice, taking a bit of time to come back to that feeling of your feet against the ground. If you find you want to yawn or gulp or take a little bit of movement, letting that happen. You may find that you want to drink a little bit more water. Take a bit of rest afterwards too. And yes, if you've got any questions about this practice, do feel free to email me. I hope you find some of this helpful.